Hi, this is MagnaCode here, and today I'm up here with a problem. We're going to try and solve this using C++. So let's begin. So first thing that I'll do is I'm going to add one line of code. And so basically what this does is that it removes the need of this very irritating line of code. So now we can just type in count and do whatever we want rather than typing in std and normal stuff. So the problem is, how many numbers from the range of 1 through n being the input, have digits such that they add up to 12? One of the examples of these numbers is 444 because 4 plus 4 plus 4, the sum of the digits, equals 12. So let's begin. So let's create a variable to store what n is. So in n, we won't set this equal to anything for now. And let's keep here, enter number, and then we're going to take in a value of n, not that, n. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to loop through each of the values from 1 through n. So for int I equals 0, this is less than n I plus plus. So the way that this loop works is that it starts on 0 for counting, then goes all the way until I is less than n. So we're going to create a new integer, and we're going to take the value of I. So create an integer called, say, actual value, and then we're going to set this equal to I plus 1. And the reason why we're adding word 1 is because we're counting from 1 through n rather than 0 through n minus 1. So next thing is we're going to add a loop, well, an if statement, and say sum of digits of actual value equals 12. So next thing we're just gonna create a counter up here, sum counter. Let's set this to 0 for now, and here we're gonna add 1 to it, and let's print it out saying number, and then we're gonna add the sum counter. Nope. And we're gonna make it add an end line to the end. So next thing is that we're going to create a function. It's going to return an int. So this sum of digits function, which I have not declared yet, called sum of digits. Let's make it taking an input of I, for instance, and we're going to make it so while let's set a variable called n. Set this to I, int m. Let's leave this as nothing for now, and int I. Okay, no, not I, we already have that. I'm going to create a loop here and make it say inside here while n is greater than, while n is less than 10. Wait, actually, it's greater than 10. We're going to make it m equals n modulus 10, yeah. And so next, so m is technically the digit, and so we already have that. So let's just do O plus equals m. And then next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take m and subtract, we're going to take n, subtract m, and then n divide equals to 10. And then we're going to return Oh, and so let's run this. And there's an int. Okay, so the funny thing with C++ is that you have to declare the function essentially, and a way to trick the compiler is to write it up here. It won't affect the running of the program at all. Just makes it so that we can keep all our functions down lower. Okay, let's run this. And another error, multiple definitions of main. So after a bit of, well, error searching, essentially, I found the problem. So I have an endproduct.cpp just so that I can look back at the code in case I forget it. And so the problem was that Replit was trying to be funny, and it was trying to run this file, the end product, as well as this other file. And so I had to change it, and using this .replit file, and make it so that it runs only the main.cpp file. And /main. Okay, so let's enter 10 and 0. Yeah, that's expected. So let's run it again and keep a bigger number, 107. And so that works much better. So the next thing that we're going to work on is making sure, so say if our code made an error, we can store all the values that it considered to be the sum of the digits of it being 12 in an array. Now the thing is that C++, its array function cannot be expanded. It is a set size. So if we create a vector with type int, let's call this numbers. That's already there. So let's call this number sum. And we're not going to do anything for that now. And so let's do number sum dot push back actual value. And so that should, yeah, so that should work. Now we want to print this out, and can't print it out normally, so let's do numbers, and let's not add anything there, and let's create a for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than. So a vector has a couple of inputs, well, a couple of functions in it, and so we want technically the length of the vector. It's a number sum, it's a vector, has a couple of properties to it. It has a .end property to it, and you want to subtract from this the number sum dot begin, and then I add I. Okay, so the ending represents the end of it in the memory, and then begin represents the beginning of it. And so if you subtract these two values, then you will get how much it is currently. And so let's print out number sum, okay, at I, let's add a comma after it. That, and let's make it so that it adds a enter at the end. Okay, so let's run this. Oh no. Okay, that makes sense. So we have to include the vector library. And so now the error should go away, and /main, say 100, and it adds all the values. So that's nice. So that's it for today. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. And other than that, bye.